Hey, what's going on? This is my second out-of-theater reaction for the day, and is for the new Wes Anderson film, Asteroid City, coming out this weekend, written and directed by Wes Anderson, also Roman Coppola with the writing credits as well. And look, I am a pretty big Wes Anderson movie fan. I haven't seen all of his films yet, but any movie I have seen from him so far, I've either liked or loved. So as soon as I saw this trailer, I was definitely really interested and intrigued. Still didn't quite know what this was going to be all about. I guess you never really know until you watch one of these Wes Anderson films. But one thing from the trailer that really stuck out to me was this whole concept of dealing with the time period 1955, space exploration, and aliens and all of that. It's definitely something that really intrigues me. I'm interested in. So with that, I was definitely, and of course with Wes Anderson directing and writing this, I was already interested. I will say this movie is a very mixed bag for me. It's hard to really talk about, to be honest. This movie is so kind of wild and creative and goes in pretty weird directions at times, so it's going to be hard to talk without spoilers, but basically, this movie is done in two parts. It's really shot a lot like a play. They even go through and they show you, like, okay, they'll pop up on the screen, like, Act 1, we're scene 1 through 3, and we're going to show you that now. And a lot of the movie is really being very self-aware and basically pointing out to the audience that this is a play going on in this world that is taking place in the movie. And a lot of times you're here with this play, the going on, dealing with the story in Asteroid City, where aliens come to visit, where you have a lot of these really smart junior scientists with their families here. It's supposed to be a 2-week thing where they have this kind of a fair, if you will, science fair, where they get awards and everything. And then you cut from that and you end up going to a part of this movie. It turns into a black and white, and the aspect ratio changes, and you're dealing with Edward Norton, who's this playwright who is writing the play that is the story of a lot of what you're seeing in this movie. I'm sure right away that explanation alone kind of makes this sound very confusing, and I will say I do think it leans into this a little bit too much for me personally. Whenever you go to this black and white, what is going on, I guess, behind the scenes of the actual play, or the process of how the play came to be about, I definitely felt a little more disconnected in that part. I was way more engaged and interested in what was going on with the stuff with within the Asteroid City, with Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson's character in that, and everyone that pops up in here. I mean, so many famous, well-known actors. It's going to be exactly like you would imagine if you've ever seen a Wes Anderson movie. A lot of people that popped up in Wes Anderson movies before, and just a lot of well-known famous actors. Tom Hanks, Steve Carell, already mentioned Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton. There's just so much to list. I'll definitely get every actor down in my review, but a lot of that I did enjoy. Again, it was just when they went to the other stuff going on with Edward Norton and how he wrote the play, and then what was going on behind the scenes, where some of the concepts just went a little bit off into a different area, which it didn't connect with me. And even the stuff that was going on within, like, Asteroid City, some of it did work. I did like a lot of the dialogue, but there would be times where it just felt like I don't know, some of the way the characters would talk really fast, and there were some scenes that just felt like there's not a lot going on, and I am used to that in a way in certain Wes Anderson movies. His style is definitely very particular, but for me, it was just a little bit of hit or miss throughout this movie for me. And again, without going into much spoilers, that's kind of really my main overall kind of feeling right now with this movie. Again, there was a lot with the concepts and everything, dealing with the alien presence, that I really did like, and there was some really funny moments throughout that I did have a little chuckle with. But this is definitely one of those movies, a lot like how I feel a lot of Wes Anderson movies. There's not a lot of, like, laugh out loud funny moments, but a lot of, like, creative little, like, nice funny visual gags, or just a little funny moments like, oh, that was nice, clever, and funny there. You kind of recognize it in your mind, but you don't necessarily, at least for me, laugh out loud. It's definitely a lot of awkward moments as well in here. It's a lot of what you would expect. It's just, I think, again, there's just certain moments where the story goes ways where I just, again, was more disconnected than maybe I had hoped. This is definitely not one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies. I still love, like, The Fantastic Mr. Fox. I love that movie. Royal Tenenbaums is really good. Bottle Rocket, one of his earlier films, I really enjoy. This is definitely more in the middle of what I've seen so far, maybe near the bottom. I haven't seen all again of his filmography, but I'll definitely have to see. I want to check this out again, maybe not in the theaters again, but when it comes out, I would love to check it out and see how I feel after that. But right now, I'm definitely more mixed on it. Performances overall was still really well done. I just think a lot of my issues are in the writing and where the story goes. This movie does look beautiful, though. Cinematography, on what you see, how, again, the story, it's shot so differently too. It's such a different movie, really. So definitely be interested to see what people are thinking about this. The audience I was in, it was hard to really gauge it, because again, even the comedy, it's not like laugh out loud moments. It's really a lot of these like kind of clever visual gags, or just a funny little lines here that, like, oh, it just pop off, and the dialogue is so quick, it's hard to really, you want to be focused and paying attention. And it's a Wes Anderson movie, and all the time, the screen, whatever's going on the screen, especially when they're like dealing with everything with Jason Schwartzman, his character within the play, there's always something to look at on the screen. It's a very visually engaging, for the most part, game within those moments. But it's really my main overall thoughts. A very mixed bag for me so far. Don't know if I give it quite a full positive recommendation. I'm really in the middle on this one. But that's my overall thoughts real quick on Asteroid City, the new Wes Anderson film. If you're interested in it, I'd definitely go check it out and see what you think. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts on it. Asteroid City.